There are movies that will go down in history as game changers. 1995's Clueless. Now, I could start off with a joke like, Clueless? You're gonna have to be to enjoy this movie. But I'm gonna show this movie appreciation that it really deserves. No jokes, but rather a genuine review in its purest form. Firstly, we know that we're in for a hell of a ride once the name Amy Heckerling pops up as a director. After all, she has been called the Spielberg of directors. Bringing to the big screen cult classics such as National Lampoon's European Vacation, the very first movie that I saw a pair of boobs in, Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking Too. The genius director, pre-Clueless, had the idea and creativity to realistically show the inner monologue of a fetus and dogs, diving so deeply into the psyche of beings that don't even yet speak or know advanced algebra. I was only 6 years old when Clueless came out. Many of the children my age would have been more excited for the movie Babe, the Talking Pig.
La la la, la la la.
But not this primitive reviewer, oh no. I was excited to see the next chapter of that cinematic revolutionary director Amy Heckerling, and my god, did it exceed every expectation I had. Some may see this movie as a shallow look into consumerism, propaganda for major brands like Gucci and Ralph Lauren, possibly even glorifying outer beauty over inner happiness. If a friend doesn't look the same as you, then you shouldn't be friends. Different groups in high school should stay in their lane and not mingle. Plaid shirts that are not buttoned up should be frowned upon, or even that happiness only happens if you have money. But I look past those skin-deep themes, and I found something much grander, something that breaks down these theoretical walls that I just mentioned. Buckle up and hang in tight, because let's break these false perceptions of this film. Firstly, I'd like to say that people have looked at multiple movies and TV shows such as Star Trek and Back to the Future for examples of films that showed technology so advanced it seemed like science fiction, but later came to pass. Let's look at Clueless. It starts off with Cher on her computer using it to pick out clothes for her day. And this is 26 years ago. I can tell you this, I might be able to make my face into a slice of pizza or turn it into a dragon using filters on my phone, but I have not seen anything quite like dressing myself on a computer. Just phenomenal. This movie is a brilliant look into the hubris of adolescence, the evolution of not just technology, but also language and culture. Let's take a look at one scene.
I'm gonna slobber all over you.
Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, as if.
Pictures might say 1,000 words, but these two lines, as if, with the snarky ugh before it happens, shows a plethora of intellectual depth. It is something that you and me may never fully understand. And it could and should really have philosophers writing novels about it. As if. Brilliant. Because not only is it Cher who is the narrator of the story, but this scene was not done within the fourth wall. It was within the narrative. Therefore, it allows the viewer to interpret the scene as they wish. It allows people from a multitude of different backgrounds and circumstances to take the scene in a different direction. Not only is it not a coherent sentence, but what did she truly mean when she said, as if? As if what? As if I would let you take me out. As if we could go on a date. As if Einstein's theory of relativity is to be questioned. The options are only limited by the viewer's imagination, and it is always a jaw-dropping moment for me. Mood depending, it might be an uplifting moment of hope and inspiration. Or it might be something that could crush my very being. As if. Just outstanding. The costume design is so subtle that it's hard to distinguish this multi-dimensional bastion of a teenager from the one they're standing next to. The group that she's in just screams normality, to the point that I feel like these are the clothes that I'm wearing. Or to go further, the clothes that we are all wearing. I know the rule of fashion is that black is universal, but how they had managed to have so many different colors and styles and make them blend in amongst the crowd like a Scorpionopsis oxycephala, it's just a feat from the costume department. And I'm sure that everybody thought the same thing when they were watching. You can just tell that they had worked on these masterpieces of timeless vogue by studying a multitude of different cultures through different centuries. And to all the blokes out there, I know that I will always feel like a beta to this walking personification of testosterone, and I know that you feel the same too. So much production value went into each section of this film that I think it's obvious that we need to call a big shout out to the stunt coordination. In this film, now I might be nuts, I think it's where Tom Cruise got a lot of his ideas for his Mission Impossible stunts. You can tell that these daring acts were no child's game. Backflips into the pool, falling down stairs, being hung over the railing at the mall, balls being flung all over Cher's face. Obviously, that was not acting. That was legitimate fear of being struck, and I'm sure I wasn't the only one grinding their teeth at the moments of suspense. Even with the dancing, you can so clearly see the amount of knee-cracking, toe-breaking, sweat-inducing effort that each actor went into to dance these scenes. Michael Jackson would be proud. But don't think for a second that this movie is just a teen drama romance. You're just not looking deep enough. This movie has a fair amount of action in it that could even possibly pass The Expendables. It might just be whispers around the town, but I heard that Alicia went through CIA training in how to deal with torture just to be brave enough and show real emotion through this scene. Much like Jim Carrey in The Grinch. Prop gun or not, having someone holding a Walter PP pistol in your face could make a Navy SEAL cower in fear.
Bond. James Bond.
She should be commended for this unbelievably realistic approach for both acting and dialogue for this scene.
Get down on the ground. Face down. Come on!
Oh no. You don't understand. This isn't a liar.
And a what?
It's like a totally important designer.
And I will totally shoot you in the head. Get out!
The only flaw is, I would add this to the soundtrack.
Hand it over. Give me the phone. Back to. Come on! Get down on the ground. Face down. Come on!
It was just too bad the supporting cast never really got the credit they deserved. And I struggle to think of anything else they've been in, to be honest. I had to search far and wide to find their names. After all, who the hell is Paul Rudd? Am I saying that right? Brittany Murphy, Donna Faison, Breckin Meyer, Jeremy Sisto. I guess they never really went anywhere with their careers. But we shouldn't be surprised, because each of them were completely shadowed by Alicia Silverstone. It was this movie that was the foundation for who today, and I know everybody listening agrees, has become one of, if not the biggest actor of all time. Although having not won every award that she's been nominated for, which is a crime in itself, the merit in which an actor needs to even be considered for the Genesis Awards, the Bravo Otto, Chicago Film Critics Association, the National Board of Review USA, not one, but 2 Razzies in 1997, you definitely need to be at the top, and that's no joke. With this acting caliber, it can only be described as an amalgam of Daniel Day-Lewis and Meryl Streep. Without Clueless, we would not be blessed with her more recent films, such as Sister of the Groom, Bad Therapy, Book Club, Who Gets the Dog, or Catfight. Just trying to imagine a world without these films, well, I just don't even want to imagine that place. To think where I would be in my life had I not experienced this perpetually improving piece of art. I just wouldn't know where to be. But all I know is the last 18 months have been pretty rough. But just imagine how the last 26 years would have been without this movie. Hey guys, it's actually the first video I've done on request, and I had a lot of fun with it. My sister asked me to do this one. To not give her identity away, I just found a picture that looks a little bit like her, which is this one. But if you have made it this far and you want me to do a video, just put it in the comment section and I'll get to it. Thank you.